Welcome to the Trees and Lines podcast, where we discuss fresh perspectives on utility vegetation management with your hosts, Phil and Tej. Don't forget to follow along on LinkedIn for the latest news. Now, let's dive into this week's episode. Welcome to another episode of the Trees and Lines podcast. We're still at the Trees and Utilities exhibit hall for Trees and Utilities 2025.
Yeah, it's time's flying.
We're welcoming Dan Lambe and Dennis Fallon. And this
seeing you guys.
Is your show and your team shows. Pretty exciting to see what I'm seeing. So tell us a little bit about the conference, what you expect this year.
Well, thanks for having us. First and foremost, good to see you guys again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
We're expecting a lot. The show's growing quite a bit. I just got some numbers up top. 1437 is the head count at the moment.
Wow.
Coming in. We're represented 9 countries, Europe, Africa.
Wow.
Oceania is represented in that group. And we're checking on how many states. We believe we're going to be close to 50 states. So
Incredible.
It's pretty exciting stuff.
Growth just year over year continues.
You know, I'm going to talk about this in my opening, but we started in 1994 was the first Trees and Utilities Conference. There were about 140 people there. We're over 1,400 today, and it's just a great reflection of the importance of this industry and the conversations we're having. And also, as I reflected on the agenda from 1994, there's a lot of commonalities to what's going to be on the agenda this week still. So as much as things change, a lot of stuff still stays the same.
Yeah. You know, you're preparing probably year-round for this, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The team started last year on this event, and they're actually working on 2026.
Is that right?
Get that pulled together, yep.
Oh,
so
wow.
Already moving forward and pulling things together. And
You said there's about, 1,400 people here?
Yeah, 14.
Roughly? What was it last year?
Last year, 1,206 was the final count last year.
Okay. Wow. So continue to grow.
And so the new Trees and Utilities is 8 years?
Yeah, I think that's about right. About 8 years when we reconstituted it. And again, from day one, I've got the program from 1994. It was always recognized as a partnership between the Arbor Day Foundation and the Utility Arborist Association. And our teams just complement each other so well. And to your point, not only are our teams working on 2026 already, but you can see just on the exhibit here floor, this becomes like an epicenter moment for the entire industry to connect, convene, just learn what's going on, but also to plan their collaborations.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
So you've been here 4 years, right?
That's correct.
Is this
Yeah,
your
this year's
one?
4th year.
And I go back 5 years ago. The industry is just changing in an amazing way.
Yeah, the growth is really rapid, and it's impressive who's coming into the space, with different technologies and different service providers. It's a lot of fun. I think I'm shooting from the hip here, but I want to say there were like 37 brand new vendors this year.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Is it, are you guys getting to a place where it's being a bit oversubscribed? Like it's hard for you to accommodate all the interests? Because when I look around, I think this is maybe my 4th one. And even in the 4 years that I've started to attend, it's so different in terms of the demographic. I see obviously a lot more technology. I see people from the finance industry here that are interested in, investing in the space. So for you guys, how do you kind of keep it still very functional? Like, is it a question of more space?
Yeah, I'll jump in. At the core, we want this event to still be about learning and sharing and connecting. We want that experience for the utilities who are coming here and those who are supporting those utilities to still have time to connect with each other and have that intimate experience where you can cut across your peer network. But as it grows bigger, we have to manage that.
Yes.
And it is exciting, all the new technologies, all the new audiences coming to pay attention to this community. But I know Dennis's team and our team at the Arbor Day Foundation still are working hard to make sure it is a positive experience and that people don't feel like they just get swallowed up in the size of this.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about, most people know who you guys are. You guys are household names now. You're celebrities.
I don't know about that.
But for some of our newer viewers and for people that are newer to the conference, can you maybe talk a little bit about your individual leadership roles, your individual organizations, and how they engage each other?
We need critical partners like the Arbor Day Foundation and other associations to help utility arborists and the utility arboriculture industry, the utility vegetation management industry, be able to go out and do the things they need to do. And that's what this is really about, is to try to empower those folks to be able to, like Dan says, to connect and share. and work through those things and connect. So these relationships are super important. And there's a concerted effort right now going on amongst all of arboriculture, whether it's commercial, residential, whether it's utility, whether it's municipal, to start to identify the things we have in common and work with those things in common. So the general public starts to realize that professional arborists are important as a whole in whatever sector we're looking for, whether it's planting trees or maintaining trees. We need professional input and we need professional support in order to do it well.
Oh, well said.
So the Arbor Day Foundation is an international nonprofit organization with a really simple mission of inspiring people to plant, nurture, and celebrate trees. And we do that in all kinds of different ways, in cities and towns, in traditional forest lands, even in front yards and backyards. But Dennis and I were just talking about this earlier this morning. Utilities touch more trees than anyone in the country. And they're a key part of creating healthy, thriving, resilient urban forests that create healthy, thriving cities and towns. And so we have, for a long, long time, emphasized our relationship and our collaboration with electric utilities in the energy industry because it's just a really important part of management.
Yes.
And now it's not just about planting trees, it's about managing trees. And that's why we work so closely and continue to strive to work closely with the utility industry.
What's the plan for this week? Anything exciting or new that we should know about?
Well, we've got on the trade show floor, I mean, there's new equipment out here. There's some manufacturers are debuting some new things. Folks talking about, there's a lot of nature positive conversations going on now that I think are a little bit new. I mean, when you and I traded spots, it was just coming on. And I think that's really starting to mature. Right. We're seeing a lot of that. We've got some really good panels. A lot of cooperative utilities and some folks putting a panel together. Some good panels coming up. I think those are the key things to look out for this week.
Yeah.
And you're just coming from a panel, right? The Women in Utility Arboriculture?
Yep. The Women in Utility Vegetation Management Group has been meeting, empowering women in the space. And then on the other end of the building, the North American Utility, I'm going to get this wrong. National Urban and Community Forestry
Advisory
Council is meeting.
That's a mouthful.
There's a whole bunch of utilities that are up speaking with them about the forest plan, the urban forest plan for the next decade.
Yeah, Forest Service is looking to put together a 10-year action plan, and Dennis is doing a great job of helping to make sure messaging like right tree in right place is a part of those conversations. And then the other thing that I would say is the women in vegetation continues to grow, which is an exciting constituency, but also the technology in this space is super exciting to see. I'm offering a challenge as a kickoff this morning to be leaning into the chemistry and how people are bringing different pieces and parts and elements to their work and their programs to create partnerships and accelerate and amplify their work in a quicker pace. We're celebrating 143 Treeline USA utilities this year, 5 brand new ones, and it's great to be in Tennessee for trees and utilities because Tennessee has more Treeline USA utilities than any other state in the country.
Oh, is that right?
I know, isn't that
Wow.
interesting? And there'll be a lot of them here today. I don't think that's what's making up the 1,400, but it is a great state to be in here. And the state of Tennessee has emphasized the importance of utilities meeting those core standards. Yeah. And it's just a stair step to doing much, much more. But the Treeline USA program continues to be a strong entry-level program for utilities to be thinking more broadly about their scope of work.
Yeah.
145.
Yeah, 143, I believe, are recognized right now. Yeah. 5 brand new ones this year.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank
good
you.
to see. You see those signs everywhere. It's
Yeah.
wonderful to
Well,
see.
we know you
Well,
guys
it's a great
have
chance to celebrate right tree, right place.
Right.
We know you guys have a pretty tight schedule and both of your time is in demand. But before we kind of let you go, I am very interested. And you mentioned, such a regionally diverse group that's come from different continents, different countries. Are you guys actively building that awareness overseas, or has the UAA just grown to a place where people are hearing about it through social media, through peers? Like, what do you think is drawing so many people from outside of the U.S.?
Yeah, so we're actively trying to grow awareness around utility vegetation management. And I think that's one of the key principles and missions of the organization as a whole. Yep. The growth outside the U.S. has been organic. Canada makes a ton of sense because we're interconnected.
Yep.
So the grids are interconnected, and that really does kind of explain the Canadian group. But we're actively working with the Canadian Task Force to try to help us work within Canada well, and not step on anybody's toes, but at the same time amplify the folks that are up there, and then help fill any gaps that are needed in those spaces. Off-continent, outside of the Americas, it's an organic growth that we certainly encourage. We have a lot to learn from Oceania. They've been way ahead of us in brush fire, I think, than we've been in North America. Just trying to open up that communication channel with everybody and allow the exchange of ideas, that collaboration, that connection that Dan was talking about. The more we can facilitate that and give people a network and a place to come and get that, that's really our goal, and that's really mission-driven.
We have been seeing an increased demand in urban and community forestry work globally. We're working with the United Nations Food and Ag Organization at the Arbor Day Foundation to advance a new program called Tree Cities of the World, modeled after the Tree City USA program. But not surprisingly, cities in Europe, cities in Australia, cities in Africa, cities all over the world are facing similar challenges that we do in the U.S. And so there's increased demand, there's increased interest. And at the Arbor Day Foundation, we believe there's continued learnings, as Dennis just mentioned, what's working in other countries, what's working in other regions that we can share and connect. And so we're deliberately trying to help create some common language and connections. And it's exciting to see a natural organic growth within the utility part of that community, because again, I will say utilities play such an important part in overall urban and community forestry management.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and say this on behalf of all the attendees. I think Dan, Dennis, you guys have done an excellent job of leading this whole initiative. I think it's the best trade conference I've ever been to across multiple sectors. I think you guys do a phenomenal job leading this. So congratulations. I hope the week goes really, really well. And thanks for spending some time with us today.
Yeah, thanks so much. Dan's team is critical to making it.
Teams, because I know they do a lot of work, and everything goes smoothly, but I'll bet not for them.
That's exactly right. You know, and what's impressive, Tej, I will say this, is for the size and the scope and the amount of things going on, the teams are not a gigantic team.
Right, you got a lot of bang for buck.
It's two small teams that mesh very well together and that punch outside their weight class every day. That. So Dan and I are fortunate to have people like that working for us.
No doubt. We have common cultures and values, and that makes it a lot easier to work together. But also, thanks what you're doing with this podcast to help grow awareness, grow attention, kind of get people to be thinking even more actively about what's going on in the industry.
Absolutely.
So thanks for what you're doing.
You're most welcome.
Yeah.
Again, great seeing you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Enjoy the rest of the time.
Have a great conference.
Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
Thanks for joining us today. Follow us on LinkedIn for updates and to tune in again to the Trees and Lines podcast.